Have you ever thought that there's a simple drink that can help clear your clogged arteries? This is a serious problem because damaged arteries are the root of so many devastating health issues. We're talking about high blood pressure, dangerous blood clots that can lead to strokes and fatal heart attacks. However, there's a big problem with how we usually handle this. When people go to the doctor, the focus is often on the end-stage symptoms. They don't always dig deeper to find the root cause of the problem. One of the biggest root causes is something called endothelial damage. Simply put, if you look inside your artery, there is a very thin, single layer of cells lining it. This is called the endothelial layer. When this delicate layer is damaged, it triggers a disastrous cascade of events. The first thing that happens is inflammation, and then your body sends a patch that we eventually come to know as plaque. This plaque is made up of calcium, cholesterol, and protein. So it's important to realize that plaque is actually the body's repair action to the inflammation that started inside your arteries. There is another important piece of the puzzle, and it's called nitric oxide. When a person experiences damage, their nitric oxide production plummets. This is a huge problem because nitric oxide is a potent vasodilator. When we lose the ability, we also face a much higher risk of blood clots. In fact, about 90% of heart attacks involve a blood clot. These clots can affect the heart, or they can travel to the brain and cause a stroke. Without enough nitric oxide, we also get more inflammation, and the artery walls themselves become thicker, stiffer, and less flexible. Unfortunately, many people don't know there are natural things you can do. Being in the sun is one of them. Even something as simple as breathing through your nose can increase it. Let's talk about how to clear arteries if plaque is already there. How can that plaque be reversed? It turns out your body has a mechanism for this called reverse cholesterol transport. Basically, this is a transport system to take cholesterol buildup from your arteries and return it to the liver. This is an often confusing topic. Many are told that dietary cholesterol is the big problem, but the reality is your body makes most of the cholesterol. It is a necessary substance. It's a building block for your hormones. In the context of arterial plaque, cholesterol is part of the repair response, not the initial cause. There are several things that can help enhance this reverse cholesterol transport process. Niacin, also known as vitamin B3, greatly helps remove cholesterol from the arteries. High-density lipoprotein, often called good cholesterol, transports cholesterol back to the liver. Regular exercise and fasting also help, and so does a low-carb diet. The point about a low-carb diet is crucial. Many people have normalized high-carb diets, but unfortunately, that is the opposite of normal. A normal, healthy blood sugar is equivalent to only about 1 teaspoon of sugar in all of your blood. Compare that to the average person who consumes between 50 to 100 teaspoons. This means the average person is consuming between 50 to 100 teaspoons of sugar every day. How is it possible to have normal blood sugar on their tests? It's because sugar is so toxic and damaging to your arterial lining. Your body has an emergency protection mechanism called insulin. Insulin comes in like a vacuum cleaner and sucks that sugar out of the blood. This is why so many people can live on so many carbs yet have normal blood sugar. Their insulin is working overtime. The problem is, this only lasts for about 15 to 20 years before the pancreas becomes so exhausted. At that point, the person enters a pre-diabetic and then diabetic state. All of that refined sugar is converted into cholesterol and fat in your liver, and it is directly causing the inflammation and endothelial damage. Before we get to that specific drink, there are a few other key nutrients. First is calcium. When we talk about arterial calcification, we are talking about calcium ending up where it doesn't belong. This is where magnesium comes in. Magnesium is the master controller of calcium. The antidote to this calcium problem is to increase your magnesium intake. Think about your arteries. They are controlled by muscle. They contract using calcium and relax using magnesium. If there are any blood pressure problems, magnesium is a critically important mineral. Another essential nutrient is vitamin K2. Vitamin K2 acts like a traffic controller for calcium. It's the vitamin that takes calcium from the soft tissues, like your arteries, and actively directs it into your bones and teeth. This is crucial for preventing arterial calcification. Lastly, polyphenols are very potent in helping to protect the endothelial layer. The drink we are about to discuss is rich in a very powerful polyphenol. All right, let's talk about the one drink that can greatly help. This drink basically uses cacao powder with a high flavonol content. You've probably heard of cocoa powder, but that is cacao that has been roasted. We are talking about the raw product, cacao powder. When you have this minimally refined raw product, cacao powder acts like exercise in a cup. One study compared the vasodilation from cacao powder and compared that to moderate exercise. This is because cacao powder helps you make more nitric oxide. This is a key difference. Things like beets give you nitric oxide, whereas cacao stimulates your own body's enzymes to produce it. The effect is cumulative, teaching your arteries how to make nitric oxide again. In another incredible study, people 50 to 80 showed results comparable to people 20 to 30 years younger. There are a few ways to take this drink for maximum benefit. You can mix it with warm water in the morning. The key is to not use boiling water. The water can be warm, but boiling water will destroy the beneficial flavonols. You can also add a little beetroot juice powder to combine two nitric oxide boosters. However, the most important tip is not drink it at the same time as your coffee. The caffeine in coffee tends to vasoconstrict, tighten blood vessels, which is the opposite of the vasodilation, widening, we are trying to achieve. Have your cacao 2 hours before or 2 hours after. If you just want the cognitive benefits, then it's fine to mix it. You can also add a pinch of sea salt or even a scoop of magnesium glycinate. Please try this powerful natural drink for yourself, and be sure to comment below to share your results and experience.